Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing well. I am so excited for this video. I can barely contain myself. This is Christmas in July 2021 and I am telling you, if you've not heard of Christmas in July, it is a thing. I promise you, I'm not just making it up. If you are new to all of this, just Google Christmas in July and thousands of videos will come up on YouTube. It is so much fun. If you are into Christmas crafting, if you don't know me, since last year I am obsessed with holiday crafting, so Halloween and Christmas are my absolute favourite times of year for true crafting and getting the hot glue gun out and just making wacky stuff, you know? Anyway, about 3 weeks ago I realised we're entering into July and it's Christmas time in July. Had a panic. I put out a post on my Instagram and said, Christmas in July, open collaboration for anyone at all who is interested in joining in on the fun, because it is so much fun seeing what everyone else creates and no two pieces are the same. It can be resin, anything you like, literally woodwork, metalwork, whatever you're into. I put a shout out on my Instagram. So anyone who's taken part on YouTube, their videos will be linked below. Anyone who's taken part on Instagram, I'm just going to share the hashtag with you. And when you type that hashtag in, you will see everybody's work on Instagram because they're all going to be in one place. Ah, I'm so excited. Okay. In this video, I am using the incredible coaster mold by Moulds and Shapes. They sent this to me a while back. You've seen me use it many times. This is ideal for what I want because it's deep. It's a centimetre deep and we're doing another layered landscape piece. And I bought these 2 Christmases ago, never used them. Look at these. Oh my gosh. Look at that. How gorgeous is that? Problem is, I've only got 2 stags. I need 4. So it's going to be time consuming, but I've got all the time in the world. Anyway, I also got this mold, which is Diddy miniature, tiny, teeny little snowflakes. Not sure how I'm going to get on with them. How you even get resin in there, but we're going to have a play. We're going to have a go. The first thing I'm going to do is mix my resin. So I am using the Indigo Blue by Glass Cast pigment, and I'm also using Super Sparkle White from the Colour Cottage. This gave me an amazing result with my nebula art, and I just think it's going to give me the most stunning, starry, glittery backdrop to the white foreground, and I love it. So I am using my Glass Cast 3 resin, which is designed for shallow pours and top coating, but it works actually really well in coasters, and I'm just mixing in that blue to the resin. Oh, I just love it. I absolutely love it. Now in hindsight, because this is a voiceover after the fact, in hindsight I would have used an opaque pigment with this project, but you can see here that I am chucking in so much of that Super Sparkle White because I really want an intense sparkle with this blue. I want every inch, every millimeter of this blue resin to be super sparkly, and it really does the job so nicely. You do have to go carefully with this. If you're using it in clear, it can dominate. It really can dominate, but using it in a coloured resin gives the most beautiful sparkle. All I'm doing here is putting a small amount of the blue into each coaster. I definitely do not want to fill them up because the inclusions that I'm going to add are actually quite deep, so what you don't want is for them to protrude through the tops of your coasters. So I'm just giving a base layer. Look at that sparkle. Oh, I just love it. Then I move on to the stags. I've got these 2 separate sets. If I find them, I will link them down below. They are all going to be white. Everything else on this project is going to be white to give that really snowy, Christmassy feeling. And again, I put a lot of that Super Sparkle White into the white so that the stags and the snowflakes will be super shiny. Now the best method for me, I have found, instead of using pipettes or syringes, you can use anything you want, but for me to get resin into these kind of detailed molds, I will pour it off on a lollipop stick, so it acts as a much thinner funnel, if that makes sense. Because these cups are quite wide, they're going to give me a big pour and it just really helps. And then I use a cocktail stick gently. I'm not scratching the mold. You don't want to scratch the bottom of your mold. I'm using a cocktail stick to just ease that resin, to just get that resin down into those nooks and crannies. Now, resin is self-leveling, and in an ideal world, the resin would just make its own way. But resin, resin does what resin wants. So I'm just giving it a helping hand with the cocktail stick to make sure that when I come to demold, there's no parts missing. Now, this mold was definitely much shallower than the grey one above it. I could just already tell that it was so much more shallow. So I'm not sure which one's going to have the best detail. But yeah, I'm doing exactly the same thing again, just using my cocktail stick gently, really gently. Do not scratch that mold, because once that mold is scratched, those marks will appear for the rest of the life of the mold. So yeah, I'm just teasing it down into all of those little nooks and crannies, into the legs and up through the antlers. And that was all I did with these guys. And then I actually moved on to the snowflakes and the trees. Now, you see me here pouring the resin into the trees using the same method, but I didn't end up using the trees. I will talk more about that afterwards. They are so beautiful though, and I'm obviously going to keep them and use them in future projects. With the snowflakes, the best thing I figured was you can either use a squeegee. I have got a silicone squeegee, but for me, I really felt like I needed to get in there with my fingers. So making sure that you have got your gloves on your hands, I just went back and forth rubbing and just making sure that every snowflake was full. So this is where we move on to the landscape. Now I want a snowy bottom, so I want those snags. I want the stags to be sitting in the snow, and that is what I'm going to be doing with the white acrylic paint. This is just cheap white acrylic paint from the Works, I believe, and I'm just giving all of these coasters a bottom of snow, so it's just a snowy landscape. Now at the moment it is quite transparent. The first layer is a bit streaky, so I allow the first layer to dry before I go in with the second layer, and it really does do the job. It works a treat. This just gives me a base coat really to put that second layer on top. Now with the second layer, before I do that, see, I'm getting ahead of myself on my voiceover. I'm using my Posca pen. Posca and resin work really well together. So I'm just using my Posca pen to go over and just put stars. I want the starry sky. Even though I've got glitter in that blue, I still want to add some stars on top. So I just went over with the Posca pen and just randomly put stars on every coaster. Now, again, if you want to copy this, this is optional. You might want to add glitter. You could do all sorts of things. Add in some shooting stars and actually hand draw some stars as well. But guys, I'm not that talented. I can't just hand draw stars. I think dots is the limit, is my limitation. It's so much easier. And this is when I got excited, because I sat there and I thought, wait, I've got a Cricut. I now know how to use the Cricut for basic words. So I ended up going with the word believe, because it's such a Christmassy word and it's just a general amazing word all around. And I ended up cutting out 4 tiny words in believe, and I made them a little bit angled so that I could kind of add them to the top left hand corner of each coaster. You can see they're just slightly arched. And I took all of your advice with this super sticky transfer tape, and I really did rub it on my clothes to get rid of some of that intense stickiness, because it really was tricky to peel back. It just, I mean, even still, it's still quite sticky, but it definitely helped me, guys. So thank you so much. And you can see on one of the words, the eye, the dot over the eye actually never came off of the transfer tape, and I never noticed until afterwards. So I do go in with the Posca pen and I add the dot to one of the eyes. Here you see me adding the second coat of snow. Now I am layering this on thick white acrylic paint. I think I just was looking for some texture to the snow. Now it does dry quite flat and it dries really quickly, acrylic paint. Then I'm adding in my glitter glue. So glitter glue as well as Posca pens works really well in resin. I'm just adding some texture to the snow, adding a bit of dimension. I mean, you know, I'm definitely not a Bob Ross here, guys, but it definitely added a little bit of sparkle that I was really looking for in that snow. You could, of course, add white glitter or any other sparkle into that white acrylic paint. I could have even tried using some of that super sparkle white, but I wanted a touch of blue, and this is where my brain was going. I thought if I just add a bit of glitter glue, then it's gonna give the snow that texture, a bit of dimension. So this was quite late at night, so the lighting is a bit tricky, but this was the demold of the second lot. So I had already made the first lot, and then late that evening I came up, poured another one, and then demolded the next evening. So it was quite a long process. Some of them came out well, some of them didn't. But these came out so cute. Honestly, I just thought they were the cutest little things I'd ever seen. I wasn't sure if, you know, if I'd got the resin into all of those nooks and crannies. There were definitely a couple where it hadn't quite reached the end of the tip, so couldn't use those, but the majority, 99% of them, came out so cute and adorable, and I absolutely love them all. So yeah, now I've got my 4 stags. I've only got 2 trees at this point, and now it's time to put them in. So this is actually straight after when I painted the snow. So this stag here is actually sitting directly in the wet paint and the wet glue, and hopefully that will dry to the point where it holds the stag in place. So yeah, in real time I'd only just poured the second lot of stags, so here you only see me place 2 in, but then we jump forward 24 hours later and here you see all 4 stags in their coasters, and I absolutely love it. I love it so much. It's now 24 hours later, and as you can see I have put the stags in all 4. I am in love with these. I am so in love with these. These 2 stags actually got stuck straight into the paint, and this was 24 hours later because I've only got 2. So I had to recreate overnight, and these ended up getting stuck on with some super glue. So the paint was dry by then, and I just stuck them in place with some super glue so that when I pour the top coat, they won't move, they'll be stuck there. Now, as for the stars and the snowflakes, I made a whole heap of stars and snowflakes and some trees. I then put a question out to my patrons, so thank you so much guys, you are amazing. I asked them, what should I do, what combination should I add, the trees, should I add the snowflakes, how many snowflakes, do I throw it all in, or do I just keep it like this as is, simple? Now the majority of the vote went for snowflakes. I think 1 or 2 said the tree, and then 1 said all of it, put it all in. So I'm going with the majority vote, and the majority vote said snowflakes. So here we go. I then asked how many snowflakes, and they agreed just 2 per coaster. This is why I need you guys next to me. I need you all, anyone who's watching now, I need you here in my craft room to help me make a decision. So we're gonna go, okay, let's do one of those. Okay, they're all different. They are all different. They might not look different, but they definitely are different. I'll give you a close-up at the end. And then we'll go small at the top. Does that work? That works, hopefully. So we'll go 1 big, 1 small, big, small, and big, small. It's just a little bit of excess on there. And that is how it's going to finish. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put a tiny dab of the super glue on the backs of these stars, purely because there's quite a lot still left to fill. There's a good amount left to fill, and what I don't want is for those stars to float up. So I'm just going to give them a helping hand, stick them down, come back in about an hour, and we are done. We're going to fill them up with the clear resin, and I cannot wait to see the results.
Whoa, oh, oh. can barely find the time to sleep. Yeah, I spend my time running around, keeping people pleased. But this is my favorite holiday. It's a chance to start over new. 'Cause I missed you, so I'm letting go of everything but you. These are the good times with you. Baby, this year it's just gonna be you and me. Hang by the fire and chill. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, and I've been longing to hold you close. Forget about everyone else. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, oh, la da da da, oh, oh, la da da da, oh, oh, la da da da. Making our Christmas memories.
This is now 2 days later, purely because I had other things to do and I didn't come back up after 24 hours. But look at these. It's super sunny this morning, so I'm going to try not to get the sun glare. But time to demold. Oh my goodness. Let me know what you think at this stage. I am in love with these. Now the problem with leaving it 48 hours instead of 24 is that if there's any pesky bits on the side, it's harder to get rid of them after 48 hours. But I'll get a little nail file and I'll go around all of the edges just to make sure these are... I didn't expect the transparency, so there's quite a bit of transparency here. You can see my hand through. Hopefully the camera's picking that up. But look at that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I just adore it. I adore it. Okay, let's get the others out. Just love them. Now the glare of the sun is annoying and I'm so sorry. I'm trying to hold it in a position where it's not irritating to the eyes. And I've got a sunblock here to try and... so you can see the sparkle, but it's not gonna hurt. Yeah, oh, just so happy with the way these turned out. These turned out exactly the way I saw them in my head, except the transparency. I actually didn't want that. I wanted opaque, and that's my own fault because I used a pigment dye, a thick pigment dye. I used this one as opposed to like an actual paste. I mean, it's not completely transparent, but still you can see the sparkle, those stars. Oh, I absolutely love. Last one. There we are. Oh, we have a bubble here. Bubbles did rise up from underneath the stags and the stars, so I kept coming back every 5 minutes to check. But one pesky bubble got away with it. There he is. But it does not take away from the piece. I absolutely love them. Now, question for all of you out there, if you're watching, if you've watched this far, well done, congratulations. I'm thinking of doing a silver side, or do you think a silver side would be too much? Let me know what you think. I'm going to get some close-ups for you now. I'm so happy. I'm going to get them in the right light and get a decent close-up. This is what they look like close up. There's a lot more sparkle to be seen in those stags. Absolutely love the 3D effect. So just looking at it, it looks like the nose of the stag is protruding out from the top of the coaster, but it's really not. It's flat as a pancake. Nothing to see here. Really worked. A dream. I just love it. I can't even, I mean, they're all pretty much identical, so it's not a case of having a favorite. I would say that stag is the most sparkly, and the two stags were very different. So I had a deep stag and a shallow stag. This one here, you can see how deep those antlers are, and there's not much detail in the face of these, whereas the shallow one There's a lot more detail in the face, and the antlers are thin, super, super thin and shallow. But I love them both still. I feel like the glitter came through a lot more on the deeper mould. So maybe the deeper mould is shinier? I don't know. Maybe, yeah, it kind of looks a little bit shinier. But love them. I love the 3D effect. I love the cricket detail. Let me know what you guys think. And don't forget, this is a collaboration. It was an open collaboration over on my Instagram. So check out my description box down below. That is going to have all of the links for anyone who took part on YouTube. And also, if you go over to Instagram and you check out the hashtag Christmas in July 2021, Christmas in July collab 2021, you will see all of the work from all of the people that took part in the collab, and I have loved this. Thank you so much. So Moulds and Shapes, thank you again for the mold. The information for this mold will be down below in the description box, guys, with your 5% discount. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed, and if you've stayed this far, wow, okay, yeah, well done. I really appreciate it. If you've stayed to the end, let me know, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.
Let's go outside, the snow is falling down and every child is having so much fun. The snowman is twice the size as me, with a smile as quirky as mine. We're holding hands to keep each other warm while we stand and watch a choir performing all the Christmas songs that we love. Yeah, all the Christmas songs that we love. And in a while we're gonna go inside and drink our chocolate by the fire. 'Cause all I want is to spend this day with you. Let me give you a Christmas, a moment we'll fill with love and joy. So beautiful, kissing on a mistletoe, baby.